Welcome to the Gentleman's Retreat. I go by B. Mitch, and I'm here with the one, the only Juice Lord.
Yo,
Welcome
what's
to the
up? We
Gentleman's
back.
Retreat.
We back.
Absolutely,
What's up, man?
absolutely.
Let's
So
get it.
just dropped the project, right?
Yes, sir.
Just did a show at First Ave. About to do a little tour. What got you into music and rapping?
Damn. Man, it's always a long story when I explain this, but I remember, just seeing Jay-Z live, in 2013, and at that point, I was already into theater, activism, spoken word and shit. I was more, poet, spoken word. That's how I started out, and freestyling, listening people that was coming up. I mean, Jay-Z and Nas and them aside, growing up with like hearing Wale, hearing Kendrick, hearing Cole, and hearing just all these other different MCs that's, that we can really say that we grew up on, or like, the Jadas and etc. So many names I could say. Right. But man, just seeing them, I was already starting to fall in love with the real culture of it, learning the real culture. Because all my life, hooped, athlete, so I never thought. But on the side, everything that I tried to do as a kid, or that I did on the side as a kid, or that I liked, I ended up doing. I ended up being in theater. I ended up getting into spoken word, which led me to rap. So but when it came to that point where I was like, all right, basketball, sports is no more for me, really, just emotionally, it was when I saw Jay-Z live, I'm like, oh, this is what I want to do.
Where'd you see him
at the XL Energy, at the XL Energy
2013,
Center, 2013, Magna Carta.
Oh, Magna Carta.
Magna Carta tour, bro,
Yeah,
and I consider that my my birth date as far as rap goes, because that's when I was like, yo, this is
So you weren't rapping at all before then?
like, it's freestyling and shit like that, but
not nothing like for real, just here and there.
Yeah, I was just trying to learn, but I was more of a poet, spoken word artist,
Really?
But
So
my first song was like, whenever Chirac came out, my first song was like Chirac remix.
Right. When everybody was hopping on that.
Yeah.
So were you like probably like 17 then? How old were you?
Shit, I was like, might have been, it's a good question. I was 2013, so around 2013. Yeah, around 10, around 10 when I was like freestyling on it, but I consider, like, for instance, with the project being called Eighth Inning, is because I would say 2015 is when I really started to like step outside. I had my first show in New York. Yeah. I was doing the Blue Nile open mics for sure, but like an actual show where I'm performing was like 2015, rapping on Sway, so I really jumped off the porch. I went, in 2016, I put a video to the face. It was Growth. It was my first big music video, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. So you grew up doing theater and spoken word, or that's something?
man, I remember doing a play when I was in elementary. I remember always like English class, or just liking art. On the side though, bro.
Yeah.
Like, never, did plays in like first, second grade and shit like that. But it's just the little shit I had interest in, or even like doing karaoke with my cousins. Under the B2K B5 act and shit, trying to act like we a group, and I could kind of sing as a kid, a little bit. I could hold a note, and I always loved music because my parents, like, my parents older people parents, so I love the Temptations. It's my favorite group ever. You know what I'm saying? So it's just wild, just the shit I was interested in on the side. Like, my dad bought me drums as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a guitar as a kid, but all these, none of that shit was more important than that basketball, than that football, or that baseball, or track.
Right, but you enjoyed those things secondary to sports, though.
Yeah.
How was that like? Was like, did your parents like embrace that type of stuff too?
Like what?
Like, so, growing up, because you grew up in St. Paul, right?
Yeah,
in the city,
yeah.
by default, sports is kind of pushed on everybody.
Yeah.
And a lot of time, artistic stuff like that isn't necessarily
The
always
main-
embraced.
unless it just inherited type shit.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So they're like,
Yeah.
yeah. So was your parents like into that a little bit, or?
Well, I mean, they always played just good music, so I just know what good music is.
Yeah.
You know, my pops is from Mississippi, where a lot of jazz and blues, you know, comes from, and my mom, I mean, they just super fans of music. So I got some of my grandpa's vinyl collection of some of the first edition and second edition of some of these classic records that you know, from jazz to blues to soul and all of that from my grandpa. You know, and you know, hold on. So say that again, like you were saying.
So I mean, so like I know for me, I know when I grew up, like I've been always into arts and stuff like that, to theater,
Like,
into music, but it wasn't necessarily like
the main.
it wasn't a focus for me. And it's like okay, I
Sports.
got a kind of interest in this, but it's not. Ain't nobody really asking, ain't anybody really embracing it that much. So I'm just gonna kind of do sports.
Yeah.
Like so, it was on the back burner, not really a focus of
the,
mine.
It was on the back burner, bro, and I just remember. I mean, when I truthfully don't even think I remember like what it was, but I know it was a hard transition, you know, because it's like, all right, people, because people know you for what they know you for. They know you as, all right, little Mitch, you know what I'm saying, little bad, little Mitch, you know, or me, like little, you know, Juice. They know me for what they know me for, and they're not. It's not their fault. They just, you know, like. I think one of my teachers hit me up. She was like, I just remember you being a good kid. Like, yeah, well, still a core of me, but me, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, people don't see you for what you're becoming or for what you're trying to do until they like, oh, okay, you know, and it took a couple years to convince or show and prove people that like, yo, I'm doing this. I'm trying to do it. I'm doing it, not trying. And it took a while for my parents to be like, oh, he's like, oh, well, actually, it was kind of a smooth transition with my parents because I was already getting into arts. I was already getting into theater and activism and stuff like that. But, you know, the music just gradually had to keep growing, you know, working with my brother Kaleem, Y. Khalik, and just so many other Destiny Roberts, you know, James Franklin, one of the first person to record 2 of my songs. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it was a hard transition as far as the public goes, because everybody know me for hooping and just or being at parties and different stuff. Or even when I became a poet, that poet to MC is a transition.
Really?
You know, because it's like people don't see poetry for. Everyone doesn't see poetry like poetry is rap. Everybody don't see it like that. You know, it's like they look at poetry as softer, lighter, you know, or woke, you know, and try to mark it out, make it look corny or cheesy. And music is like, oh no, you do music, you an artist. So it took a transition as far as like just people seeing me for what I would become and what I'm trying to do and how I'm trying to be seen. And, you know, each year gradually, it got to the point where niggas be talking crazy to me like I don't know basketball, I don't know sports and shit. I'd be so mad, bro. You know, because my pride, like, or, you know, like somebody say you, I'ma still look at a nigga like, man, you weak as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the hoop shit in me. But yeah, it was a transition, bro. It was.
What was that transition like artistically going from a poet, spoken word, to like music? I mean, because like I said, it's very similar.
It's just as a skill, like, you know, as far as me, personally, man, it was like, all right, I'm rapping on a beat, so I had to find my flow. That's like the biggest thing. You find your flow, you can go. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they may not have the words, but they got the flow. You know what I'm saying? So I had the words a little bit. I was raw and uncut. But you know, I had to find my voice, you know, more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Once I found my voice, and I mean, if you listen back to some of my first songs, I think I played a lot of y'all the early songs.
And it was funny. So I was trying to find even earlier stuff this week. Like, I'm trying to find something even a little bit earlier. I couldn't find nothing.
Nah, that shit on private, man. You might find some. You might find 1 or 2.
I was looking too. Like I want to see the whole progression. Like I want to go back.
You got a little bit in there somewhere, but
But it wasn't a tough transition though. It just was kind of just finding
Oh
that
no,
voice.
I mean, everything's gradual. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like everything is just gradual. So I'm just now starting to see the results, and over the last couple of years, starting to see the results of, my growth, my like spread love and don't be stupid, and just the possibilities of where else I can go with it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
it was a transition because you gotta it's not just words to the paper. It's rollouts. It's
Right.
so much shit that goes into
For
this
sure.
thing.
For
You know what I
sure.
mean? And
But for some people that they think that's just what
ah
it is. It's just as
shit,
simple as
man,
that.
I'm tired right now.
And I mean, for somebody like you, where it's like, okay, you putting together, lyrics. You're putting together like lyrics and bars that's like hidden.
Yeah.
So, what requires more effort? The putting together the song, putting together, I guess, the lyrics and the structure of it, or just the other stuff, the outside stuff, the marketing, the promotions. What's the most difficult part for you?
All of it, because I mean, obviously, the art is the fun part. If you're inspired by it, if you liking what you're hearing, if you're clicking, yeah, that's the fun part. But the hard part is getting this shit out of this shit. Minnesota. That's not the hard part, but it's like that's what matters. Like it's really expansion, and really putting yourself in position to be seen. And no, that to me that part actually comes easy as far as being able to network and all that. But as far as musically, yeah, I would say the rollout shit can't be difficult if you think about that shit deeply like me. So I do make it the shit hard, but self inflicted. But it's because I want to see shit be a certain way. So you know, I don't know. I guess it depends, but nah, it's a lot more than just. That's only 90%. That's only 10% of the battle.
Right, just going in and recording and coming out with a song. That's nothing. That's like I said, 10%. I think a lot of artists got to realize that like the work is after that. It's after that.
Hard work after that.
Where did Juice Lord come from?
Man, at first my rap name was called Juice Lord, like LAWWD.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. Eventually, it was just changed to Juice Lord and
What was your poet name? Your spoken word name?
Juice the Poet.
Juice the Poet.
Yeah.
So you always been Juice.
I've been Juice since probably like sixth grade. Cause I got a high top under this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I got my high top like in the sixth grade summer, going into seventh grade, and that was Juice.
So you've been Juice.
Yeah.
Because you had the Juice haircut.
I had the Juice haircut, I had the high top, just yeah,
So it was Juice the Poet, then Juice Law.
Yeah. And it's still Juice the Poet when I'm in my poetry back to me, but
right in your own mind.
Yeah, but if I write it down and list Juice the Poet,
But you refer to a lot of your music as your government name, like you refer to yourself.
Yeah.
Why? Because not a lot of artists do that. Like that's not a normal thing where you get artists, they're called this, but they also referring back to who they are as a person.
Oh well, yeah, because I'm still a little Malik, so I'm still Malik, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still acknowledge that for people because people think, niggas, everybody changed. Like, I got a song called Change Clothes, I've been the same since a jit, though. Niggas ain't really where they from, they just change clothes. What's real love in a world full of cutthroats? I tell my mama that I got it and I can't, so it's kind of like, I'm changing. If you don't think I'm about to change, you out of your mind. Truly about to evolve. This is really my time. Like I'm still that core, Lil Malik, but shit, man, a lot of shit didn't change. I mean, shit different shit. Niggas done been through. Or been a part of, or my family done been through that changed the shape of the way. I conduct myself or the way. I operate the way. You know what I mean? It's a method to a little bit of everything, and I always refer to Malik because that's still me. Malik, Juice. That's another side of me, or it's still me, but it's another side, bro.
Right. Have you always been so reflective?
Once I got to activism and poetry, yeah, I would say that's when I became reflective. But I've always been someone that that can retain some information or understand or know what's going on. So I guess that's observant. So yeah,
Yeah. When you say the activism, I mean, what is?
activism like
Yeah.
protesting, artist activism, writing about this shit that, like, for instance, Trayvon Martin, like the first, that was like our generation or even probably yours, first wake up to, what people are around our age can really just get taken out like that and not get charged for it
Yeah.
and get a slap on the wrist for it. And people not do that. People rile up and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Activism is just, I don't know, just being on the front lines, standing for something, and yeah, that's one of the main things. I mean, it's a lot more to it. I guess it's all perspective, but as far as artist activism, putting it in the art, speaking my truth, speaking my people's truth, and doing it to the best of my abilities, and gaining, learning, about my history and shit. I've always been into history as a kid, so that's another thing why I've always been reflective, because I've retained so much information from not only, books that I read as a kid or even as I got in junior high, but from my parents and from my dad specifically, like just a lot of, I don't know. And then, yeah, as far as Minnesota go, my family's deeply rooted too, so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the things.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel you, and I think with the Trayvon Martin thing, I think that was pivotal for I mean for everybody.
Yeah, I was like the first wake up. I wrote a poem called "My First Taste of America." That was the first poem, one of the first poems, not that I wrote, but about, on that serious level,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. No, definitely. And so I mean, that was your first serious poem, and from then going forward, was it kind of like
It's
I
just
wanna?
more shit that kept going on,
Yeah.
so we just, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, no, it's an ongoing thing. And I think it's important for people to
Getting
like
some
to
sleep
speak on
tonight.
it.
Getting some sleep, but
No, you good. You
yeah,
good. I think it's important for people to speak on stuff like that though. Just
yeah,
in general, just on any type of
and just the people I'm fans of, so. That plays in the part too, or the music that I grew up on. A lot of this music, it was really going through shit like jazz and blues. They singing all these different songs with less words than a rapper, but the same pain, if not even more, worse. When they couldn't perform in these jazz clubs, but they end up performing anyway. But they're saying all this stuff about these people that they performing in front of, with through instrumentation.
right. How does I mean? Yeah, that's a good point. I think a lot of people don't haven't listened to enough music to feel that.
And they just think about it, like people like Miles Davis and all these people go to these different states. They love their music, but they don't love the artist, or they don't love what the artist is. So then you get someone like Little Richard that doesn't truly get his due, and Elvis gets praised for a live hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, rock and roll. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's wild, bro.
No, it is. I mean, so clearly that's stuff that you grew up listening to all that and knowing the history during that time, or did you go back and research the history?
I mean, you go back to research, or you learn along the way from being around, being a sponge, and absorbing this shit. But overall, you know, second nature, really,
For you.
to me.
Yes,
Not
but
for
it's not for
everybody.
everybody,
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does that impact your music today then?
It's all me. It's all me. I could talk about this. I could talk about that. I could talk all about as much stuff as I want to. And 9 times out of 10, it's coming from a real place of what experience, even just perspective. Like, you got songs like Nas got, like, where he's speaking from the perspective of a gun. I got a poem where I was speaking from the perspective of the pavement. You know what I'm saying? And it's I don't know. It's just, it's crazy, bro. I don't know if I'm answering it right, but
No, that's okay. That's okay.
yeah.
So I mean, so you said you got a song speaking on the perspective of pavement. What's like a down point for you in music where it's like, okay, I'm not where I want to be, or just what's a down period, and how do you deal with that?
Man, shit, you got writer's block. You got fucking writer's block, bro, and you can't write shit. I done had several of those moments. So that
Really?
shit. I ain't writing shit now. Like, well, the last two songs I wrote actually was days before the album. So I finally is for me. It's at this point in my life and career. It's like if I can't feel it, I can't get near it. I'm not gonna force no record with nobody if it ain't meant to be. It ain't. You know.
So that, which is crazy. I would have, somebody
I
would,
don't know. I just don't force music. You know.
and that's real. But I would have thought where it's like, okay, because you be having bars. I would think that they just be popping up in your head like, I got this bar.
mean, it's all on a feeling, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is the beat? What is the beat telling me to talk about? Because that's how I listen. And I pick up on frequency easy. So if a lot of producers, they send me stuff they know I rap on, and sometimes they'll send me stuff that I think I like, but I'm like, bro, I'm not rapping over that type of shit no more. You know, like, come on, bro. Like, niggas sending dry ass beats that don't got no layers and shit. Like, add some up to that motherfucker.
It's interesting you said that because I was listening to the eighth inning this week or whatever, and I'm like, you got an interesting selection of beats. Like, it's not typical.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's like, And it's like when you first hear, it's like, okay, let's see where you're gonna go on this. And as you get to listen, you understand where it's going.
Yeah, bro. And for some reason, people think I literally just rap on boom bap beats.
Nah.
I don't. And even if they're boom bap oriented, it's not like doom doom that doom that. Nah. It's not. It's layered. It's like Hit Boy type production too, where it's like updated. Like I don't think people really be listening to my music, or they think because they hear me talk or how I am, as just being able to have a conversation that that I'm just rapping over. That I'm saying I'm done saying of how much I am the greatest in this way. And trying to say all these different crazy lines that don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, I'm just very more intentional with my shit. Intentional with what I'm creating. And that's why I can't it's hard for me to just rap on shit. Like, if it ain't telling me to say something, or if I can't just, and it ain't good, then it's just, hey, it's too fault.
Yeah.
Well,
And
or maybe I don't see it at the moment, and then
right.
months later, I'm like, oh, this is, I do that too. Go back to beats and be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that because I know your music definitely gives a feeling.
Yeah.
To me, it was a minute. I'm listening to one song. I dang near thought I was from St. Paul. I'm like, let me relax because I.
Oh, at the Out the Peasy? Yeah. On the album, the Out the Peasy.
I called myself saying, wait a minute, I'm from over north. I said, I'm from over north. What I'm talking about.
I knew that's what you was talking about, because, that's what I'm really about to do this Out the Peasy. I'm really about to. Yeah, it's one.
But that gave me a feeling, though, and I'm guessing. I don't know if that's what you go for.
You could just feel it with the sample, huh?
Yeah, like
that, just a champion feel,
it just came on hard like that.
The sample just so crazy, bro, and it's like one of them. It had to be the outro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and originally it was supposed to be 8 songs. It ended up being 11. You know, we added one song that been sitting, and that deserved to get heard at 5 for 20, and then we did the intro and the outro.
Wow. It definitely gives a feeling. So what would you say for your current rap career that you've had so far? Like, it's been short, but it's still on up and up. What would you say some highlights have been for you?
Okay. Man, one would be, performing in New York. It's like once I performed there, I was like, dog, I could do this shit if they fuck with me out here a little bit. I could do that. So that, another was going to the Million Man March in 2015. Seeing Mr. Farrakhan. Yeah, going there. What else? Being in college, St. Paul College was another thing. What else? Opening for different artists and shit like that on when they come here. Shit, man. Fast forward, Spread Love, drop dropped my project. I mean, dropped the project and had my release show, had my listening session, sold out. So, I mean, sold out my listening session and had a had a show at the same spot. Boom, and now fast forward to this project, sold out first at 7th Entry. You know, so it's like, you know, rapping on Sway and being in ciphers, growing with my bros. You know, I mean, you know, and now going on tour
Right.
with Props. So
So throughout all those highlights, whenever you were at a high point or you feeling good about everything, how do you stay motivated beyond that?
man, uh, new opportunity. That's how I stay motivated. Cause like, yo, if I do this right, this could come. But I still don't get too high on that because none of that shit promise. No
Right.
opportunity is promised unless you seize the moment.
So new opportunity is what keeps you going.
New
kinda.
opportunity, new music, history books, as far as rap goes, and yeah, you know, it's crazy.
So even when you're at a down period, does that motivate you? Where it's like, stuff ain't going.
It motivates me, and sometimes it makes me even sadder. I've been there too.
Wow.
You know,
yeah.
where shit just ain't clicking, and it's like, damn, don't quit. But it's like I gotta think of something, and then I catch inspiration, and from there on, it's lit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, no bullshit.
So if you were like talking to yourself from when you're 15 years old, what would you tell yourself?
You already who you is. You don't need to be the cool kid. Focus in class. Do the homework. Do your motherfucking homework. Man, just not worry about and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Were you one of them kids? Always trying to be cool.
Yeah, always cool just because that's how I always been. But yeah,
Would you say that's kind of how you are now? I mean, you're a fairly cool guy.
yeah. Still the same way, but yeah, people be irritating me. I be talking my shit. And I always been someone to talk shit and have fun. But I don't know, niggas be playing with me sometimes, trying. But
Yeah.
I don't let it sit in my head too long. You know what I'm saying? I just like to keep working.
Yeah. So I mean, when you say that, when people be playing with you, what do you mean? Like they?
Playing with me like, taking kindness for weakness, or your good moves or gestures for their liking, or trying to say some funny shit, tag you, whatever the case may be, so they can get some
Yeah.
clout. Niggas say they don't, but niggas, come on, man. Niggas is weird. Niggas is weird sometimes, for real.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. If you could tell something to another black man, just some general advice, what would you tell them?
You're never as low as you think.
Mm.
Learned that from Boz.
I love that one. You're never as low as you think, but you're never as high as you think either. It's all perspective.
All perspective,
love that
bro.
one.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. That's one quote that always, because niggas be down, but
Yeah.
never as low as you think. It's always somebody that it could always be worse.
It could always be worse. That's a 100% fact.
You know, but also embrace your shit. Embrace your struggles, embrace your wins, and embrace it all. And I mean, at the end of the day, you charge to the game, whatever that game is.
Wow.
Oh, bullshit, man. Charge to the motherfucking game, bro. Like, shout out Larry. But charge to the game, though.
Charge to the game. Absolutely. That is great advice. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for coming through today.
You know it.
Absolutely. Juice Lord on the Gentleman's Retreat.
What we doing, man?
Yeah, make sure y'all check it out. 8th inning.
Eighth
right
inning,
now.
love versus passion, man. Love symbolizes my love for people, my love for my community, love for my passion, and not letting my love for people cancel out my passion. Sometimes people don't see you for who you becoming and all that, and it ain't your job to show them. I mean, you show them through action, but it ain't your job to please them. You can't please everybody. Everybody ain't gonna like you. Everybody, all that love niggas show ain't always real, and it's not for you to try to figure it out. You'll figure it out when when you do.
When it's time.
And I just hope it ain't in the worst way possible. Because some
Absolutely.
niggas find out the worst way possible, bro.
Absolutely.
And that's unfortunate. But, yeah, love versus passion, man. And, like Kendrick said, I am not your savior. He's not your savior, man. So, love versus passion, man. And, yeah, 8th Inning Love versus Passion, man. Mix and master by Wiz. Guys finna line up some videos and we finna try to get this shit moving, man. So,
It's quality.
love, bro.
It's
Yeah.
quality.
Yes,
Appreciate you.
Yee!